Today's value talk is very, very important. And our guest is somebody who is a very dear friend. He's a senior from the academy. He is none other than Brigadier Bhagat, Sena Medal, Para Commando, 3 times instructor. His CV is right in front of me, and I don't know what to read and what to leave, what not to read. So he is expert in setting up greenfield projects. He has set up. He conceived and established a high training school at an altitude of 14,000 feet in North Sikkim. And he's super interested in adventure. His interest lies in skydiving, 12,500 feet, parachuting, motorbiking, cycling, high altitude treks, etc., etc. I don't know. He should have left something for others. And he's an avid reader and very interested in history, consistent learner, very humble, and he has had some very good tenures and very good achievements which are beyond, we cannot cover here, but I have seen him live on field in Dera Ki Gali in Poonch area, and also as part of UN mission also he has done some commendable job in operations. So Bhagat sir, are you there? And he is an ex-Echo. He's Echo 76, and his room was right next to me. His cabin was right next to me, and he was a third termer, and I was a second termer. So you can understand. So, Bhagat sir, are you there?
Hi, Manish.
Hi, sir. Because your CV was covering you. Welcome to Valley Talk, sir. It's we're really grateful that you could spare some time and join us. And can you, Vivek SV, can you lower your hand, please? Okay. So I hope I have not pulled you out of your busy schedule in RSRMA.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Bhagat and Manish, and we go back 35 years almost. And he's right.
Yes.
And we're ex-Echo. So, and he invited me, of course, but he's better today, much better today. So he's my guide, in fact, and he's been guiding me for whatever I don't know. And I don't know why he thought me fit enough to come and give a talk. But and I want to put a disclosure that and not really I will know so many things, but yes, you will know probably a lot of things, and whatever I say is probably going to reinforce whatever you know. That's about all. Thanks, Manish, for calling me. Thank you so very much.
You know, you're still the same humble, thorough gentleman. Though on the field, I have seen a very different avatar of when you were dealing with some good guys in Kashmir. But I mean, you are one of the best in what we are going to talk about today. So, ladies and gentlemen, today the talk is about creating security center of excellence, and what Brigadier Bhagat has achieved is, he has sort of achieved convergence of security, training, learning and development, and project management. Just a few years back, nobody knew about it. I mean, under his leadership, RSRMA is kind of becoming a benchmark as far as the security training is concerned, and I am likely to visit RSRMA myself. I want to see what all things have. I have been invited by Brigadier Bhagat, and I'm really, really excited. And soon, so coming to this thing, before we move to the topic proper, so please, can you let us know how did you plan to leave? I mean, a para commando, diehard soldier, and
Manish, I was a brigadier when I left, and I had commanded my brigade, and I was posted to Pune in Southern Command as the DPM, and finally, I think people like us get fed up very soon. I believe. Means when I left infantry and joined para commandos, I thought I was very fed up there. I thought I have reached the plateau of my growth. I was not growing, so I thought let me just go out and grow somewhere. And I think that was a very good decision I had taken that time. And this time also, when I came out, I felt I'm being just wasted. I did try hard to make myself useful. I went and met MS, I met everybody, but then it doesn't really happen that way. I thought it's time to farewell. So it was here in Pune, I planned to leave and I left. And it was good that I was in Pune because I'm very close to Bombay and Pune and Bombay, because finally means most of the companies are out here and there's a huge opportunity out here. So that was a good.
So was it a decision in haste? or it was a considered decision?
Not really haste. Means I probably knew that I'm going nowhere from where I was ahead, and but I was still wanting to be relevant. I could have really contributed, but then I stayed here in Pune for almost 1 year, 1.5 years, and I thought it's not really working out. I'm getting wasted. So that feeling of getting wasted was very prominent, and I thought. So I started moving around, looking for friends, and creating a CV and then going around meeting people.
So it was not a decision in haste, and I agree with you that a lot of almost everyone, sometime or the other, does go through this kind of a feeling, and you require a lot of courage to take the hard decisions. And I can well understand that you took that plunge, and now you are where you are. So, sir, how did you manage to get the job in Reliance?
Thanks a lot, Manish. Yeah, I didn't get the job directly. In fact, what I would like to say that I did fail once or twice, and I would like to tell why I failed, because there are lessons which needs to be brought out, and I don't want anyone else to be doing the same mistakes that I did. And I had almost put in almost 30 years of service, and I'm a supremely confident guy. Means I don't think so I had any problems, but that was a problem, I believe, because I thought I'll be able to handle anything, and I'll quit and I'll go for the interview. And so that is how it happened. I put up my papers, my date had come, and I had gone for the interview. Wherever I had gone in the first company, I knew that the gentleman who was taking me, and he had put me to the last stage of the interview, and I had gone to the last stage of interview, and that is where I got rejected. Without, let me just say that, put it that way, very blunt. It was a disaster. I thought, oh, it could happen to me. So then I looked back and found out what is the problem. What is the problem? Why I got rejected? Means I should not have. I should not have got rejected. And so I found that probably I was complacent. I thought I knew everything. वो क्या पूछेंगे, मतलब मैं जवाब दे ही दूंगा. पर अगर वो कोई पूछे कि क्या किया है लाइफ में, तो मैं सोचता हूँ कि क्या बताऊँ कि क्या किया है, because I had not really studied what they required. I did not really study that. कि उनको क्या चाहिए था, मेरा रोल क्या था. That a friend of mine who had put me through to that interview, I was probably too shy to ask him, भाई क्या रोल दोगे मुझे, मतलब क्योंकि मैंने सोचा कि यार उसने वो मुझे रोल दे रहा है, इतना ही बहुत कुछ है, and there were many things I could have done. So किस रोल में मुझे लाना चाह रहे थे वो मुझे I really did not know, and that is what, when he kept asking me question, I did not know really किस रोल की बात कर रहे हैं वो लोग. तो वो जो शाइनेस एट द वेरी बिगनिंग की, यार पूछ ही लेता है मैं उनसे कि किस रोल में देख रहे हो यार आप मुझे, तो अगर वो हो जाता तो शायद मैं ऐसा वो दिन नहीं आता. एंड व्हेन समबडी आस्क्ड मी, भाई क्या कर सकते हो, मैंने कहा सर कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. मतलब मैंने कहा सर लश्कर जयेश मुजाहिदीन सबको हैंडल कर रखा है, अब बताओ किसको हैंडल करना है. तो देन ही सेड में हमें तो किसी को भी नहीं हैंडल करना, हमें तो किसी को भी नहीं हैंडल करना. एंड दैट इज व्हाट स्ट्रक मी राइट कि भाई दी भगत, स्टॉप दिस, स्टॉप, गेट इनटू द पास्ट टेंस में रहना छोड़ दो एंड गेट इनटू द न्यू थिंग. ये नई चीज है, नई रिक्वायरमेंट है, नए टास्क है. And whatever you would have done earlier, I think it needs to be brushed under the carpet. खत्म करना चाहिए. And that is a big lesson I learned from that day. It was a very bad day for me, and my date was already there. I did not have a job in hand, and but I think God wanted to bring me back to the Mother Earth. One, and
we may have done so much when in uniform, like Brigadier Bhagat had done so much when he was in uniform. He had done so much when he was in uniform, and he was supremely confident. There was no lack of confidence or anything. Only thing is, first, he didn't know the job description. Okay. Secondly, he had not prepared for the answers, like to point out this, but he had not prepared for the questions like, so what have you done or something. And thirdly, he did not answer those questions in the language which the corporate understands. So repeatedly I have emphasized these points, that the language which you speak in when you are in uniform may be little different. It is uniform specific, and the roles and responsibilities, assignments you have done in armed forces, the terminologies are different. So you have to learn the language and prepare for the interview, prepare your career portfolio, whether it is LinkedIn or whether your CV or whether your job interviews, you have to prepare for this.
And one more thing, I'll say one more thing. I left my present job in the army on the with the confidence that my friend is there and I'll be able to make it. And I came. Why it was a disaster for me? Because I did not keep my one foot on the ground. I was probably very confident that hui jana hai, and this interview probably is just a formality. So that is how I took it, and it was a disaster. And what the lesson is, till the time you don't get a joining letter in hand, don't quit your job. I think this is one of the big lessons.
Very, very well said, sir. Very well said. You got to, you got to secure the job first, and then finally say quit. So when you hang your uniform, you have certain grace period where you can, within those 3 months, you can hang your uniform and make sure that you have the job in hand when you are taking PMR. If you are not taking PMR, and it is, I mean, for short service commission officers or for those who superannuate after full service, that's a different case. But be prepared, have something up your sleeve, try to have something up your sleeve before you finally come out. Right, sir. So how did the job in Reliance happen?
So I had got in a pharmaceutical company in Ahmedabad, and when this Reliance thing came over, I had my own unit officer posted in Reliance, and so I had made a visit to his house in Bombay, and then we found that there's a place. So when I came for the interviews, and there were a number of options available to me, and when they asked me, "Hey, what is your dream like?" So I said, "My dream is to open a school one day." So they said, "Why don't you come and take over our L&D vertical?" So I said, "With pleasure. I definitely would like to take that." So that is how I got involved with the L&D, and that is how this academy came. Academy is part of this L&D vertical. So that is how I got into RSRMA.
Right. So, sir, so you got the job in Reliance because of your network.
Yes, of course.
That is, I mean, you were lucky that it was your unit officer.
Yes.
But at the same time, you must have learned from your previous failure, and you must have prepared for this kind of a...
Yes. So the job that I got in the pharmaceutical company was through that WhatsApp group. So I am saying, whatever you do, you get into the forces network also, and the WhatsApp group also, and you meet the friends also. You tell the world that you are available. I think that's how it should be done. And because that job in the pharmaceutical company was through that WhatsApp force network, I got message, and that is how I applied in Ahmedabad, and I got that job. So I think it is important to keep the network alive, and you not go to meet people, you got to tell everybody that you are available.
Well said, sir. Very well said. So, sir, you have been in special forces. You know so much about security. All your life, you have been doing this only, right? Threat perception, doing operations, line logo, observing, hint gathering, etc., etc. So many things. And then you did CPP.
Yeah.
So, was it helpful?
Yeah, I think CPP is a wonderful course. It's a wonderful course. Finally, it is bundle of knowledge. And I'm a big proponent of you need to gather knowledge. It is very comprehensive knowledge. See, the point is, what I have felt that the people are doing the CPP for taking that stamp of a CPP. When you go around and tell that I've done a CPP, and there are various methods of passing the CPP, means you go through that 10,000 questions or 20,000 questions, and that is how you also clear the CPP. But I wanted to study it actually. So I did CPP after I got this job. So I did almost 1.5 to 2 years later on. I studied comprehensively CPP. I understood each word, what it said. And I found it is a wonderful course to do. It's absolutely amazing course. It is very practical course. And whatever I was doing in the army, it gave it a definition to everything that I used to be doing there. So a lot of things we did in the army, and people thought I'm a very unconventional man or something like that. But when I did the course, everything was written out there. So it was what CPP does, it gives you a sequence of studying. It puts in the right picture, and you're right. We done a lot of threat perception, but we hardly done security risk assessments. It's a tag B paper on how to do a security risk assessment. And we have done appreciations of defense, offensive tasks. We've done all that. Okay. but we've hardly done the risk assessments that is supposed to be done like they do it in the civil. It's not done like that. If you ask anybody, what is a de-risking and what is a risk reduction and what is a risk mitigation, you will find that everything is similar, but it is not really similar. So everything will come only if you study. So I thought CPP gave me a very big platform. I could study, and I took almost 1.5 years to study, because I didn't want to just take a CPP stamp without studying. And it has really helped me. It has really helped me to understand the entire architecture of security. So not that we know everything, we have an idea, but CPP puts you through in very nice framework, everything nicely done. So means from understanding the physical protection system as such, and understanding the security risk assessment, the entire tag question, and then the sensors and the cameras and the lights, everything, and it is given in beautiful detail. Well, I think I must strongly recommend it. One must study. One must study.
Very nice, sir. I mean, I asked this question specifically because many times I am asked this question that, so we have been doing all this throughout of our life. Should we be, is CPP important? Is this thing? So it depends. And I'm sure with Brigadier Bhagat's answer, this doubt is definitely clarified. Though we may be knowing, but
and yes, what you said earlier, that lingo, it's not about lingo, it's understanding the concept rightly.
yes, yes.
Because you know the concept. So when somebody asks you, okay, tell me what is the deterrence and what is intent, where does it fit in internal vigilance, and where does de-risking fit in, and what is reduction fit in, you know what to talk. So because finally, whatever you would have done, you may have done CPP, you may have done anything, but if you can't convey your point during the interview, then there is no point.
Absolutely.
So if you study, so whoever asks me, sir, मैं क्या करूँ, मैं कहा यार ये physical security की तो पढ़ी ले भाई, इतना तो start कर ले. So whatever you start, and everything is available in the net, means all the answers, whatever you don't understand. Finally, I am also there. मतलब कोई सीखना चाहता मैं भी हूँ, ठीक है? तो one must read this and be prepared for the questions that may come during the interview.
Sir, before I ask you about RSRMA, does security domain, I mean, do we have, can we leverage our uniform, our tenure in uniform, our experience in uniform? Is there an advantage of being an armed forces officer, security domain especially?
Today, we have graduated from being a security guard to risk managers. Okay.
Yes. And this is what I actually, sir, actually you have hit the nail on the head. Because there was some time back in Value Talks group, there was a discussion, and people, some officers were they just kind of relegated security to a very low kind of field. And I have been advocating this, that security is a specialized function now. So please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So I was saying, जब पढ़े लिखे लोग आएंगे ना, तो ये चीजें बदलेंगी. So what has happened? We were treated as security guards till not very long back. Okay, and we also thought कि हम तो GDA, हमें आता क्या है, हमने गार्ड लगाने हैं, थोड़ा सा ये लगाना है, ठीक है, हम भी ऐसे सोचते थे, और जो हमें एम्प्लॉय कर रहे हैं वो भी ऐसे सोचते थे. We are thankful to those gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen who have come, जो पढ़े लिखे लोग हैं, उन्होंने हमको सैंक्टिटी दे दी हमारे जॉब को. उन्होंने हमें बोला, सर ये सिक्योरिटी गार्ड का काम नहीं कर रहे, हम आपकी रिस्क असेसमेंट कर रहे हैं, फिर हम अपनी वल्नरेबिलिटी एनालिसिस करेंगे, और फिर हम आपको काउंटर मेजर्स बताएंगे सर, और हम आपको काउंटर मेजर बताएंगे डिटेक्शन में और डिले में और रिस्पांस में और ऐसे और वैसे. सी व्हाट यू हैव डन, यू हैव गिवन देम. सर, छोटा मोटा काम नहीं कर रहे हैं, बहुत बड़ा काम कर रहे हैं.
एब्सोल्युटली.
So ये हमारे जैसे फौजी अफसर ही आए हैं जो पढ़ लिख के आए हैं, and when they came, I know so many of them, they have changed the landscape of the security domain. आज पैसा अगर आपको मिल रहा है, if people are coming and they're getting paid for what, it is thanks to these ladies and gentlemen who have come before us, and they've changed the entire, what you say, entire narrative of security. वरना हमें पूछता कौन था, यार तुमने क्या काम करना है, तुमने अगर बंदा ही तो लगाना है यहाँ पर, तो वो सिक्योरिटी गार्ड ही तो लगाना है, तो बात तो सिर्फ वही थी, पर उन्होंने सारे नैरेटिव बदल दिए. सो ये हमारे से लोग ही कर रहे हैं, मतलब जो आए हैं. एंड व्हेन पीपल लाइक अस हु कम, ऑफ कोर्स आर्मी ऑफिसर comes with a good package, no? He comes with honesty, integrity, truthfulness, forthright, and so on. So hard working बंदा है, काम बताओ, task oriented बंदा है. So these are good things, but then there are certain not so good things that we need to change.
Yeah, we'll come to that.
Yeah.
But मेरा तो खून बढ़ गया सर, क्योंकि इतनी बारी ये क्वेश्चन मेरे से पूछा जाता है, and very recently in the career coach group also, the support group also, this question was asked कि sir, those who are GD, first of all, I hate this word GD. There's nobody who's GD. Security is a very specialized function. Every armed forces officer, whether he's infantry, armored, or artillery, if they don't have any technical degree, they are specialized in something which is called security management, and I'm telling you, it's a super specialty as of now. And so, आपकी ये बात सुन के कि पढ़े लिखे लोग और I mean, to cut the long story short, there's nothing GD. Security is a specialist function, and one should regard yourself. One should, have a very high opinion of himself or herself. Till the time you don't respect yourself, nobody else will respect you. Anyway, so
ये जो CPP की पढ़ाई है ना मनीष, ये स्टाफ कॉलेज से कम नहीं है. मतलब मैं बताना चाहता हूँ, बहुत ज्यादा पढ़ाई है, बहुत डिटेल में पढ़ाई है. तो जैसी आपको नॉलेज गेन करोगे ना, आप अपने आप को GD समझ ही नहीं सकते उसके बाद में.
एक और बात है इसमें कि नॉलेज भी गेन करनी है, सिर्फ CPP एग्जाम पास नहीं करना है.
हाँ, मैं वही कह रहा हूँ. एब्सोल्युटली.
Right. So let's talk about Reliance Security and Risk Management Academy. The name is very impressive. I have seen some videos also. I have seen, and the way you have shaped it, I mean, amazing.
Oh,
amazing. So my point is that let's call it Reliance Security Academy, right? Yeah, Risk Management Academy. So it's a project. You're training also. Then you are developing some infrastructure also. You are incorporating some innovative techniques also. Designing the curriculum also. So that is why the convergence of project management as well as learning and development training and man management and everything has come into this thing. So are you enjoying your role?
Oh, immensely. मैं तो मजे लूट रहा हूँ. I think it's ikigai. I am loving what I'm doing, and there is a requirement for that in the market, and and third is I'm getting paid for it. दो तीनों चीजें हो रही है. मुझे इससे ज्यादा I cannot enjoy more, and मुझे जो whatever love, respect, yeah, absolutely. So whatever love, respect I got in the army, I am getting equal love, respect. मुझे कोई कमी नहीं महसूस हुई. बहुत ज्यादा प्यार मिल रहा है मुझे यहाँ पर. बहुत लोगों की जिंदगी में फर्क डाल पा रहा हूँ, और वो फर्क को देख पा रहा हूँ, और लोग बहुत रिगार्ड कर रहे हैं. मुझे लगता नहीं मुझे इससे ज्यादा की जरूरत है खुराक.
Amazing. So tell us about RSRM.
Yeah, this is my personal friend. Now, RSRM is, as you know, this name just came up around 4 or 5 years back. So you see that everything is in the name, Security and Risk Management Academy. ऐसे Guard Force Academy नहीं बना रखी है ना. So उसको Risk Management Academy बना रखी है, Security and Risk Management Academy. So whosoever had coined this term, he had something in mind कि ये जो है हम नॉर्मल चीज नहीं पढ़ा रहे, हम बहुत जबरदस्त चीजें पढ़ा रहे हैं. So what happens is Reliance, as you know, is an ocean. मतलब मैं तो 3.5 साल हो गए, अभी तक नाप नहीं पाया हूँ कितना दूर तक जा रहा है. सोच ही नहीं पाता हूँ. जैसे सोचता हूँ एक आध ओशियन वो और ले लेते हैं, ठीक है, तो वो तो इनका वो साइज बढ़ता ही जा रहा है. And the good thing which I will say about Reliance was that they thought 25 years back that they require their own security center. So in this year, in 2023, we are completing 25 years. So this academy is completing 25 years. So I'll say to the vision of those leaders who would have said कि नहीं यार हमें अपनी security चाहिए, क्योंकि नुकसान बहुत हो रहा है. अगर अपनी security तो नुकसान बहुत हो रहा है. तो वो जो चीज है ना यार, तो ये RSRM was formed 25 years back. It is in its prime these days. ठीक है, और बहुत सारी चीजें और हो रही है. अच्छी बिल्डिंग्स बन रही हैं हमारे रहने की. जैसे हम एनडीए का हमारा स्क्वाड्रन है, उससे थोड़ी सी बड़ी बिल्डिंग्स बन रही है यहाँ पर रहने के लिए, एंड अपना लर्निंग सेंटर बन रहा है. वी जस्ट गॉट इक्वेस्ट्रियन, हमारे पास 10 घोड़े आ गए हैं. ठीक है, बहुत सारी चीजें ऑल रही है, और RSRM is growing slightly, slowly steadily it is growing. What happens is that the Reliance requires a lot of officers to look after their security of their projects. Okay, so almost I'll say the global corporate security, which is a part of the RIL, it has almost 800 to 900 officers with them. So that is the strength of the officers, and almost 5,000 off-roll employees. पर ये जितने भी 800 हैं, ये सारे इसमें से कम 90% है, they have gone through the RSRM. They have gone through this. So they are.
You're talking about security officers which are being trained by Reliance or the armed forces officers you're talking?
Okay, so most of them are the lower security executives and manager and senior manager level officers. They are from the GCS, which is directly coming from graduates coming through RSRMA and going to this thing. But then there are a lot of army officers who are heading at each plant. So there are a lot of army officers. There are a lot of army officers who came as a captain and major also who are there, but not really very large, but then they are there. So the majority of the people are passing through the portals of this academy. They're understanding the entire curriculum of the security business, which I will also say, even the army officers who have to come to this domain, they should and know all these details before they get in. And that is how they will get far with.
So what is being covered there, sir?
In security parlance, let me see, from your access control system to the entry control system to your pass breaking to your material movement to your people management, your security technology, and your physical protection system as in its entirety, your risk assessment, everything. So it's a risk and governance. It's the physical protection system. It is the sensors, all types of sensors.
Forensics.
Not really forensics, and it's not really required. That's why you're not doing it. But yes, law, fire, safety, first aid, everything. It's a very comprehensive course. People go through this academy for almost 4 to 4.5 months. And there is something more that we are also doing. We are also teaching them the business. We're teaching them the business. Finally, what I came and I realized that we, who come from the army, that we are looking at only the security, but we have to understand the business first. कि पैसा बनता कैसे है? Because from there it flows कि तुम्हारे assets कौन से हैं जिसको मैंने बचाना है. तो वो थोड़ा सा important है कि हमें business पढ़ना पड़ेगा. तो हम यहाँ पर 4 में से 1 महीने तो हम business ही पढ़ाते हैं, और लोग समझ नहीं पाते हैं business क्यों पढ़ा रहे हैं. पर ये this is a hydrocarbon industry. यहाँ पर जो है, it's not an easy job to secure these manufacturing divisions. Okay? And so we have to teach them and sensitize them on what they are going to get into.
So till the time they don't understand the important assets they are going to be securing and the threat perception, they can never, be good security officers. So that is what it is.
Of course, because till that time they don't understand कि पैसा बनता कैसे है, who are the really assets, बंदे हैं या process है या equipment है, what are the assets. Till that time they don't really identify. They speak to the engineers, they speak to these HR guys, they speak to the site president. Till the time they don't do that, they will not understand the business. And if they don't understand the business, how can they secure?
So your experience of army when you had set up that high altitude school, did it come handy here?
देखो, एक चीज मैंने समझ ली थी when I was instructor in commando school also thrice means मतलब.
Oh yes, sorry, I forgot to mention this also in your CV that when I was introducing you, Brigadier Bhagat has been instructor in commando school thrice.
एक चीज जो मुझे रियलाइज हुई, जो मैंने सोचा, फर्स्ट थिंग इज द ट्रेनिंग डजंट हैव टू बी ड्रजरी. सो वील हैव टू गेट आउट ऑफ दैट ड्रजरी. दैट ट्रेनिंग को ना इतना खतरनाक सा बना दो कि वो लोग परेशान हो जाए. सो वो हमने एकदम टोटली हटा दिया. इवन when I was the commander wing also, that is the time also I brought in skills rather than रगड़ा. मैंने कहा यार, लड़ाई तो स्किल से जीती जाएगी, मतलब रगड़े से थोड़ी जीती जाएगी. That is how I thought. And यहाँ पर भी हमने ट्रेनिंग को एप्लीकेशन ओरिएंटेड बनाया है, टास्क ओरिएंटेड. सो बहुत सारी चीजें जो हम एनडीए में ओटीए में करते हैं, सो दिस अकेडमी इज नॉट अ टेम्पलेट ऑफ दैट, बिकॉज देयर यू आर प्रोड्यूसिंग एन एग्रेसिव गाय who has to be aggressive against the enemy. Here I can't afford to be aggressive. यहाँ तो मैं आवाज नहीं उठा सकता हूँ, और यहाँ हाथ उठाने की तो बात ही दूर हो गई. एंड जो अकेडमी, हमारी अकेडमी में होता है, वो हम लोग हायरार्कियल पे बहुत जोर देते हैं. तो यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा लूजन अप होने की जरूरत है. सो दिस इज समथिंग व्हिच द आर्मी ऑफिसर्स हु आर कमिंग इन विल हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड लर्न.
So actually, what you're saying is your soft skills and social skills also are part of the training,
Of course,
and
of course,
and
of
I
course.
think that is something which even the officers who are planning to make a transition, planning to make a switch, they also have learn and unlearn quite a few.
तो मनीष
So
इसको मैं ना 3 भागों में डिवाइड कर लेता हूँ मतलब वन इज कैरेक्टर बिल्डिंग ठीक है द सेकंड इज योर टेक्निकल नॉलेज एंड थर्ड योर बिहेवियरल स्किल्स ठीक है सो बिहेवियरल स्किल्स में आपकी फिजिकल फिटनेस वगैरह इसमें दो चीजें तो आर्मी अफसर की बिल्कुल ठीक ही है सीधी कैरेक्टर बिल्डिंग एंड जो उसकी ये यहाँ पर मुझे अलग से तवज्जो देनी पड़ती है पर अदरवाइज इफ यू सी ये दोनों चीजें तो आर्मी अफसर की ठीक है इट इज ओनली द टेक्निकल नॉलेज दे नीड टू एक्वायर मतलब for whatever we would have done in the army ठीक है we need to acquire this skill we need to understand how it works in the civil function how the microwave functions how the infrared functions and how this functions or dual technology but you have to understand we will have to understand all this so only the technical skill you need to understand otherwise the remaining two so you are there so that's taken for granted and let me also tell everybody means people are looking up to the army officers outside they are हमको ऐसे नहीं समझते कि हम कुछ भी हैं बहुत हमें they look up to us and they really regard they have a lot of regard to us and people whosoever is in the security in the domain जो आपसे junior रहेंगे ठीक है they have always been defense aspirants they always wanted to be an army officer so people will look up to you when you join the any unit here any site here
I mean your answers, your body language, everything is reflecting it very clearly that you're enjoying the job, you're enjoying your role. And I always say you either earn, if you're doing a job, you should either earn or learn, earn and learn. If there is nothing in that, if you are doing neither, then just quit the job. Now there is third thing which I would say, you earn, learn, enjoy.
yeah and
If you
contribute
are earning and learning, it is amazing. But if you are earning, learning, and enjoying it, I mean, it is the pinnacle. That
yeah
is the way to go.
yeah
And that is what everyone dreams about. So, and I'm sure that you are, and that is why RMA is, actually setting up benchmark for others to emulate actually. And
thanks
it's being talked about in the industry circle. It is being talked about. I have spoken to so many people, and it is making a lot of waves now.
You gotta focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah. You gotta work, never tell, keep your head